Hello world, Cozzy here with this week's The Big Question, the only show on the internet where I talk to you about the big issues in geek culture from this past week. Starting off with the possibility of Hugh Jackman quitting as Wolverine. That's right, there is a rumour rife on the internet right now that Hugh Jackman might actually quit as Wolverine after the next X-Men movie. And I think if this is true, it will be a huge loss for not only X-Men fans, but for obviously 20th Century Fox, who own the rights to the X-Men characters and franchises for movie purposes. Now, Jackman has admitted himself that he can't do this forever, but that he is a huge Wolverine fan. The last Wolverine movie that came out this year, he was involved in the actual screenplay. He really wanted to get it made, and it was made based on a story arc which is one of his favourites and my favourites, as I mentioned in my review, that if you click on my face right now you'll be able to pop out and see. And he has been the one outstanding member of the cast in all of the actual X-Men movies that he's appeared in. I know Patrick Stewart's been fantastic as well. You can say Sarah McCallum has been fantastic as well. But the one character in the comics and in the movies that really hits home with people is Wolverine. And in the movies, that's because Jackman has been such a good Wolverine. He's been fantastic. It will be a real shame if he decides to not play the character anymore. I can understand he's getting older. It's probably hard to stay in that kind of shape for long periods of time. It's probably hard to do Wolverine and X-Men films all the time instead of doing other projects, although I'm guessing he gets well paid for the role. And therefore there must be a time in his career he has to say, no, I can't do this anymore. But it's not now. I think the next X-Men movie is going to be absolutely huge. It is going to catapult the X-Men again into the forefront of everybody's mind cinematically, and therefore we're going to need more Wolverine on the big screen. And who's going to replace him? Whoever it is, it's a poison chalice. It's going to be this kind of nightmare scenario that people have when they replace huge actors in these kinds of roles, like we've seen with James Bond, like we've seen with Batman. You know, it's going to be difficult. Hugh, I for one hope you're sticking around for a good while yet. Sticking with movies, there's actual confirmation that both Army of Darkness 2 and Beetlejuice 2 are going to happen. Now, this is fantastic. I've talked about these before in Geek Movie News. These are movies I want to see as a fan of both franchises. Now, Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi are on board for Army of Darkness 2, and the script apparently is nearly finished. When it comes to Beetlejuice 2, we know that Burton has finished a script and has had that there for a long time, and he is in negotiations to make it a reality, and Keaton has come out and said, yes, he wants to be in this movie. If it is going to be made, he will do it. Fantastic. Let's make this happen, guys. Let's do everything we can, people of the movie world, to make these two movies happen, because people like me will definitely be there on day one. Sad news for fans of Cartoon Network's Beware the Batman, as it seems the show has been put on indefinite hiatus by Cartoon Network. Now, this is not the first time that Cartoon Network has basically screwed around with the DC Nation block. We saw it with Green Lantern animated series. We saw it with the cancellation of the fantastic Young Justice, which I implore everyone to go and watch if you haven't already. And yeah, what are you doing? These shows have an inbuilt audience. People watch them. Even though I haven't seen Beware the Batman yet, and I've heard some sort of good and bad reviews of it, when I get the chance, I'm going to watch it, like I have with every DC show that's been shown. And Cartoon Network seems to not really give them the time they need to develop or the push that they need. And when they do become successful, they don't keep them around long enough to actually make a lot of money out of them. Young Justice being the #1 issue here. Cartoon Network, DC, get your act together. I mean, Warner Brothers, you own DC. Why are you not putting some sort of foot down and saying, this show is going on at this time on this channel, and we're going to promote it and make money off it and have toys of it and have DVDs of it? Have you not seen how you successfully marketed shows in the 90s and early noughties with the Batman and the Superman and the Justice League? You know, how can you forget how to do something so simple like market your own products? The next thing is something that a lot of people have asked me personally about as a YouTuber, and that is the Total Biscuit Day One Gary incident. Now, for those of you who don't know, Total Biscuit, hugely famous YouTuber, does reviews of mainly indie games, very famous British YouTuber. And he did a review of an indie game called Day One Gary Incident. Now, he'd done everything properly. He sent to the company an email saying that he wanted to do a review of the game, obviously that he has a large following, that it was going to go on YouTube, and that he was going to monetize the video. They agreed, they sent him a review code on Steam, he obviously played it, he did a review, and he didn't like it. So he gave it a negative review. Now, this isn't the first time that someone has given a game a negative review, but with this case, this review, obviously being a famous YouTuber involved in gaming, went very high up in the old YouTube search ranks, and then a lot of people were saying that this game maybe not as good as they'd hoped it would be. So what happened? Well, the developers of the game actually called a copyright issue on YouTube, and the review was pulled down. That's right, they called a copyright issue on a video about a game where they'd already stated that he could use it for monetized reviews. What? This is ridiculous. This is becoming rife now on YouTube. Remember that under fair use policy we are allowed to criticise, review and parody anything. That is both in the UK and the USA. A similar thing happened to another one of my very favourite YouTubers, Dan Bull, when he did some music. I'll lead you a link to that video later on in the description so you can see what happened there. But this is terrible, and this shouldn't be happening. There should be better functions within YouTube for people to actually argue their case. And there's not. If, for example, I am a mega corporation and you do a video criticising something that I have done or parodying it, and I don't like it, I can just say, yeah, copyright infringement. No legal case for you to step up and say, well, hang on, you can't do much about it. I mean, you can complain, you can try and, fight your case through YouTube, but nothing happens really, because these mega corporations seem to have YouTube now by the balls, or what little balls Google and YouTube have nowadays. Yeah, I'm calling you out on this because this is disgusting. We have a right, a fair use policy right, to criticise, to analyse and to parody, and no one can stop that. Nobody. But you're doing it. And a lot of YouTubers are going to start thinking about moving to other websites to do their videos where they can monetize on other websites. And it's going to be a loss to the whole community unless you sort this out. So this is a direct message to you, Google, to YouTube. Sort it out, because people will not stand for it. People power will win. Last thing, very quickly, there was a 75th anniversary of Superman short by Zack Snyder and the fantastic Bruce Timm released. And I'll pop a link there so you can pop out and watch it. I implore you to watch it. It is like 2 minutes long. It doesn't cover everything, but it covers most of the very important things that have happened in the 75 years of Superman's existence. And if you're a fan of Superman, if you're a fan of comic books, you will absolutely love it. Click it, watch it, fantastic. Okay guys, thanks as always for watching. Down there's a like button, click on that if you liked it. In the description box below is a link to my Facebook, my Twitter, my Tumblr, and all the links that I've told you to go and watch. Anyway, comment box for comments. You can leave a video response if you wish. There's a link there to my new Geek movie review for Ashen's and the Quest of the Game Child, and there's a link to last week's episode of The Big Question. Until next time, au revoir.